Hi, good afternoon from Singapore International Photography Festival. My name is Gwen Lee, the director of the Singapore International Photography Festival, and it's my pleasure to introduce our very special speakers, Bob Lee here, and I will be here to facilitate this artist conversation. Well, this is SIPF's online talk to actually deepen engagement and understandings of the artist's work. And this talk has been ongoing since last year, November, and we are coming to the very end of the festival. Today, Bob Lee, one of the exhibitors of SIPF, will be sharing about his work and his practices, and as well a sneak peek into his upcoming new works that are going to be exhibited in this year, 2021. Hello, Bob.
Hi,
Yeah.
good afternoon, right? I mean, because you're in Singapore time, right? So now it's about 2 p.m. Yeah. Good afternoon,
Yes.
everyone. Hello.
So Bob, it's a pleasure to have you back again with us. Earlier on, you had conversations with John
John,
and
yeah.
and you actually had shared about your project. Because
Yep.
in these sessions here, we really, for the listeners who are up there, would like to hear more about your practices and what are the concerns or interests in your work. So, perhaps, Bob, should I leave this time to you to share about your practices?
Okay. So I used to work for the newspaper as a photojournalist for about 10 years, but that was 20 years. I mean, year 2001 until 2011, so but 10 started at 2001, and after that I left my job. I set up my own company called the Fat Farmer. Mainly do the corporate portrait and commercial photography, but mainly on portraits. Yeah. So as you can see, yeah, I mean that's most of the things I'm doing for living. But at the same time, whenever when I have my own time and free time, then I will do a lot of projects. I mean, I'm giving myself a lot of activities beside the actual work. I mean, I used to teach at schools, institution, and then after that, I involved in different projects. Involved like such as teaching the visually impaired people photography. That's one of the very quite an interesting project. And then also, uh, my son is a special needs. He has autism, and then because of that, I mean, I get involved in a lot of special needs community. And at the same time, I mean, I used to teach. Also used to conduct photography workshop and classes for the teens or adults with autism. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting because I am very aware of your work from the very early days, such as the One Moon Flags and
Yep.
the photo stories project about
The
the
different religions in
different
Singapore. Yeah.
religion beliefs, such as
Yep.
the Judaism, the Jewish
Yep.
community, as well the Sikh community in Singapore,
Mm.
and subsequently, your project has always surround this stories always surround about people, about their way of living,
Mm.
and also in a way to talk about it, the subject matter is actually just within our vicinity, within our
Mm.
community, our society.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not like an exotic like community or exotic um, practices, but these are peoples that we encounter almost every day.
Yeah, I think one of the reason why I'm shooting most of these topics is, I think first of all, because when the early days when I worked with the newspaper, our schedule is actually you can't really like arrange like I work in the morning shift and then or in the afternoon shift, or maybe I can off in the have my off in the weekend so that I can plan for a lot of things. So basically the schedule, we only know that what will happen tomorrow, what kind of assignment tomorrow is only know at tonight about 9 p.m. Then I will know what happens. So you can't really arrange a lot of things. And because of that, I mean, when I want to doing my own projects or trying to find that, hey, if I want to involve myself, I want to make myself busy for beside the works, I only can work with around using the time and the hours that I have, and I can't really go to travel to other places or do other topics. So the first topic that the first project that I did many years ago, that the Jewish and Sikh community, which is the project is called Have a Little Faith. The whole project come up with because of the an assignment. Then I go to the assignment, and then I saw in Singapore we have these 9 big religions registered in the government. It's called IRO. And then I asked my fellow colleagues, journalists, hey, do you not really know about them? They said, I don't really know about them. I mean, I know some of the religion, but some of them, like Jewish, who don't really get involved or go into their synagogue. Then I was saying that, hey, as a photojournalist, maybe I should, if the journalists don't really know about what is inside this inside the synagogue, behind the door of the synagogue, then I think for most of the audience or most of people in the community don't really get to know them. So I can use my camera to go into to know them. Sikh community or Jewish community, we have a Baha'i group and other religions. That's the first project that I started. And then I did an exhibition, and then 1 year later, I think till 2004, 2005, due to an assignment, also morning assignment, then we get to go into the one-room flat in Singapore. We see in Singapore, the one-room flat is the rented flat for people who can't afford to have their own house. So they need to rent a flat from Singapore, from government. So there's one of the morning that we went to the assignment, and there's one elderly who was crying. She was crying because she's saying that someone claimed that he's actually from the government agency, asked her to clean up the corridor near outside her house. And when she cleaning the floor, the corridor, this guy went into the house and then steal her money and run away. So she was crying there, saying that the $300 that my saving was gone because someone took it away. So what happened that day is the reporters and photographers, total about 6 of us, each of us take about $50, pass it to her. And weeks later, similar things happen. And I was thinking that, hey, I can't like every week take out $50 to give to the elderly, right? But maybe I can do something using my profession. So that's how I started to do another project. So I say I can do a series of photographs about one-room flat. Hopefully, they create more awareness for people to really understand what's a one-room flat about. And I think this is what throughout the years, and then I realized that, hey, I really enjoy the process of doing topics that something like this, that I curious about certain things, then using the photograph to find the answer. I mean, I can use my photograph to do something to contribute back. I mean, like the one-room flat, I want to create awareness. And of course, though that year was like quite young, 20 plus 30.
Yeah, I remember you also shared that after you have made the project and you published a book, and subsequently the town council actually made home improvement to the one-room flat.
Maybe I think it's because due to the timing, it's just nice. I don't think it's because of my project or my works that make them change the decision. But I think
awareness.
Yeah. I think the awareness is not just to the town council, but more to public. And I think maybe there's a lot of youngsters don't really get into the one-room flat before, and then maybe they'll say that, hey, after looking at photographs, some of them they leave down the comments, say that how do I be a volunteer to go in to help them, these kind of things. I think that's a good thing already.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, the one-room flat is one of the project, I think 2004, 2005. And then throughout the years, slowly that I realized that, hey, there are a lot of things I can do using my photograph, like helping the hospice patient, the cancer patient, to do their last wish. Whenever there's the social worker contact me, say that I have a patient who is in the very, very last stage, and they hope they have a family portrait. What can you do for that? So,
this hospice project is it's a long-term commitment on your end, because I remember hearing you making this project back in 2011, 2012, right?
Yeah, actually it started at 2020. I mean, the first patient that I helped them to do the things, I think it's 2009 or 2020. Yeah, even earlier, because it's not really a project. I think it's more of commitment. I mean, when I started the whole project, this shouldn't call it project. I started to help the first patient and then the second patient to do the.
Who and why they approach you?
you remember the one room flat, the one room flat project, when after I published a book, and the book was given to one of the social worker, and the social worker, he moved to work in the hospital with the hospice, and then he bring the books with him, and then of course he shared the books to the colleagues and say, hey, maybe we can leave this book here, and then there's numbers. My phone number never changed since many years until now, huh? So the social workers actually shared the number until today. There are still social worker contact me. They will say that I got a number from the who and who. I say I don't really know who and who, because the whole team have been changed. So throughout the years, I say, okay, I know. So the whole again, even until today, I still helping some patient to do the shoot. And then the power of the project, from the one room flat, and then the book, and then the phone numbers stay there until today. There's people still contact me. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I think the book is totally amazing to me. Even at that point, it's not common within Singapore to publish a photo book about social conditions or about community. I
Yeah, that
mean,
was 2004, 2005. Yeah, year 2005.
there's actually a self-publication, right? Self-published.
No, the two books. Let me see. Because I published a few. So the first two books, Have a Little Faith and the One Room Flat, was commission. No, is sponsored by Buddhist Lodge, and then the publisher is I can't remember who is the publisher. Yeah. So one of, because that was 10 years, more than 10 years ago. So yeah,
Yeah.
World Scientific was the publisher to publish the book. Yeah.
And I always think like, I mean, the fact that photo book in the early days, right, there wasn't much of it. If it's usually come out as a form of monologues, like all the nice pictures or the practice of a photographer, but hardly there's any book that just very specifically just on a group about a community itself, and very specific about like.
Yeah, the reason why the book was published is because when the first project, I mean, I mentioned that with a lot of different religion, and then the second project, the one room flat, and then one of the person in charge from the Buddhist lodge, he came and see and say, Bob, doing an exhibition is good, you can create awareness, but how long you can exhibit the book, the work? Months or maybe weeks, but what if you publish to a book, then you will definitely last longer than an exhibition. But I told him that I don't really know how to publish a book. That was at 2004, right? He said, don't worry about you go and find a publisher, we'll sponsor you the money, the publication, the fees. I was like, whoa, I can publish a book. So that was what happened. And then the story until today. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the fact that it's so organic. The fact that the very intention and the reason for you to start the project, and how in a very organic way it just evolved because it connected to people and people feel for it and people believe in it, and how they extended this whole project and circulate out to more people.
Yep.
Yeah, and even after, now that you mentioned the hospice project, and it's still ongoing.
Yeah, it's but like I said, it's not a project. It's not like I set a timing that I can go and shoot. Okay, hey, I'm free next week. Can I come and shoot? No, it's not like that. So it's basically it's a calling. Yeah, if you have different religions,
I like what you say.
yeah, and sometimes the people will call me. They say, I got a number from here. I even got one of the shoot, one of the patient that I took was not from a social worker, and someone from a Facebook. And then what happened is this, I don't know this guy, and this guy called, okay, I have my neighbors was at the very last stage, and someone passed me your numbers. I said, who is the someone? I say, someone's friends. So it's literally until like, okay, so who is in the beginning? So it's one of the photographer, and then he said he's not good in doing this, and then he passed the numbers, passed the blah, 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 and then come to me. It's like over how many layers. So it's like, okay, don't worry. And then, but on the day I was on my way to Botanic Garden with my wife and my son, and I said, but I don't have camera with me. But then they told me that the doctor says it's really that maybe the next few hours he will pass on. Then I'll say, okay, then I call my colleague, my ex-colleague from the newspaper, and I say, do you have camera with you? Can I borrow your camera for a few hours? So I went down and get the cameras and go rush to the hospital and then help them do the photo shoot and then pass back the camera, and then I continue my family tour to Botanic Gardens. Then I think we need to make it I always share and I tell people, say, hey, you want to make it clear that our okay, my job or my task is to help them to record down the very last moment. But don't forget that I have my own families. I might have my family's members waiting for me to, maybe after I do the shoot, I'm sure that the family is very, very sad, you know, another one day will gone. But I have my wife and my son and my in-laws, my fathers and mothers are waiting for me for the dinner. You know? I have our own families.
It's still happening and going on.
Yes. That's life. You see, every day there will be new baby born at this moment when you talk to me. But I'm sure that at this moment that someone is already passed away. So yeah, when you realize these things, as a photographer, we know that our task is to help them to record it now, and the photograph that I pass to them, most of the time I will just rush it down to go and print out, and then either the faster will be the next morning they will have the 8-hour print or 6-hour print or 10-hour print, so they can put it in the hospital room. And I'm very sure that the families, when they look at the photograph, they will feel very sad. They will cry every time they look at the photograph. But again, 10 years later, 20 years later, and one afternoon when they flip through the photograph, hey, it was the moment that, the very last moment that our fathers or grandpa or mother, so when lucky that we managed to get the photograph with them. I think that's the purpose of the photograph lah. Yeah.
And talking about the hospice and this time with families, this is also a project that very much committed, which you committed close to 10 years to create, which is memory blocks, right? Yeah. And you talk about this importance about relationship and family members living within the space itself. Also, at this time, do you want to share with our listener, or if you have your presentation or slides, to share a bit more about this project, Memory Blocks?
Yeah, sure. Shall we look at the first videos? Maybe we can after that we can continue our conversation.
Yes, okay. I think that will be great.
The sound on.
The sound is on. You can't hear us. We can't hear in a way that the exhibition people actually
can we at the same time one of the photograph, the number one photograph at the side, so we can like look at it, we can talk about the photo, some of the photos also. So to memory blocks, the whole project started with a very simple idea that I just bought I bought my house, and then I stay at level 14, and from my windows actually I can see the neighbor's house, the next block. So from the window I always look at others' house, like, hey, look at the TV is so big, the sofa is nicer than mine, okay, this is good, hey, I think mine is better than this. So this house looks empty. So
for our listeners who are here, who are not Singaporean, HDB stands for Housing Development Boards. So practically about 80% of Singapore population live in this government public housing. Yeah, and in short, we call it HDB.
Mm.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was staying at level 14, and then when I look at the next block, which is opposite my house, it's like I can see a lot of details. Then I was telling my wife, hey, if we can go inside the house and then to look at how they arrange their house, that would be quite interesting. And that's what happened from the how's the idea come from. So I started from initially I was thinking, hey, it would be quite easy, right? I mean, if I want to get like 50 or 30 photograph, I just can ask my friend, say, can I go to your house? I thought it's very easy, but at the end, most of the friends rejected. Said, no, don't come to my house. No, I'm going to go to show you anything of my house. No. Are you going to do it the exhibition? I don't want to show people about my house. Oh, this stuff. Like, hey, it's so difficult to get at least 20 houses. So from there, I started to put on my social media. At the time, 2009, yeah, we already have Facebook at the time. So I put on my Facebook that I need to go. I'm doing this project, and then started the first house, second house, and then you look at the for different. This is actually one of my students. It was year 2010. I can't remember. Can't exact date. I can't remember, but it's 2010. The first few batch. When I visit, before I visit their house, can you use your phone or anything to capture, or can use your cameras to capture something to show it to me how it looks like? So I will think that whether it is suitable for me to do my project. And then he told me that, oh, I have this table, the mahjong table is in the middle of the house. We can't really move it because initially when I told them that I want to take the living room, most of them will say, oh, we need to clean up the room. I said, no, don't clean up. So but then like what he told me, the mahjong table is so heavy that we can't move. I said, don't worry, leave it there. That's the essence of the whole pictures. So I went to the house. I was so happy that the mahjong table was there. And then, oh, I like the deco of the whole house. The pictures were taken at the July or I can't remember which month, but definitely it's not the Chinese New Year month. But you can see the decoration on the wall is still like the Chinese New Year celebration. So yeah, that's interesting. So I was like, okay. And then I set up a few rules for my project. First thing is I only take after 7 p.m. Because I thought that after 7 p.m. that's supposed to have a family bonding time. And then if there's a televisions, turn on the television because I want to know what kind of shows that you're watching. And the third thing is don't clean up the house. And then wear as normal as possible. No need to purposely wear a nice shirt for me to take a pictures. Yeah, I think that's a few things that I think that is interesting. And then also another rule is that I only shoot from the angle of from the a few steps away from the house, from the door, so it looks like someone pass by your house and then try to peep into how does this house look like. So these are a few rules that I set up. Yeah. So this is the first photograph. Then we look at the second one. And
I think that is very interesting when you mention about the rules, right? Because it so I could also sort of summarize out into three elements, which is time, space, and light. Because time beside the passing of time, which year is taken, but it's also time of the day, which is always at the end of the day, and also space, because the space that the subject occupy is always within the living room. And the third element is the light, because of the end of the day, the lights that actually illuminate the house is all the artificial lights. So in these three elements is actually very constant. It's a constant within this 100 over portraitures.
yes, and the first few photographs I'm going to share with you. Actually, it's also printed on SPIT on this SIPF, DCSIPF. Is there are 10 photographs that I choose. One of the out of the 30 photograph, 10 photographs that I choose, actually someone in the photograph have passed away. Like for this one, the mother, the one in red color, has passed away. And the first one, just now the one that we saw, the uncles and the in the center was passed away. So I choose that. I say that the purpose of photography is always capturing the memory. So at the moment when I took the photograph, when I showed to someone, anyone would say that, oh, this is just a living room. Any living room looks the same. There's nothing interesting. But when the photograph after years, 10, now it's only 10 years, maybe 30 years later or 50 years later, when someone look through the photograph, get the opportunity to see the photograph and say that this is what the Singapore living condition. So this is the furniture. So this is the lights, or this is the fan. No, you won't know like what 50 years later maybe there's no more ceiling fan. You see, this is fan. Oh, this is television. Even like this photograph, you look at the televisions. That was 10 years ago, and I'm sure that as in Singapore we can't use this kind of television anymore because the signal is cannot accept. So it's like it's only 10 years. Things will change. The television is already mounted in the wall, ready as thin.
Digital televisions.
Yeah. So things change. So that's the purpose of photograph. Go look at next photograph. Sorry, the next one. Yeah, a very typical the housing in Singapore, the living room, and then the next one. So when I choose the top, when I did the first 20 and then the 2009 I started a few, and then 2011 and 2015. During 2015, I already have about 20 to 30 photographs on hand. So in 2015, we did because there's a Singapore 50 years anniversary, SG50. So Gwen was approached me and say, hey, can you do another 50? Maybe do a 50 house. So I said, yeah, why not? So when I started, when I continued the project, I'll say that, hey, there are certain things that I'm lack of, like should I need to include different races, different religions, and different type of the housings in the whole project. In Singapore, we have a one-room flat. One flat is a very small room, and then we have 2-room, 3-room, 4-room, until the jumbo flat is a very huge living room. Correct. And then yeah, so I'll try to get all the different type of the house, and then to be included in the sets. And of course, like I said, we only use the government housing, and not the condo, not the private house. So yeah, quite try to make sure that the project is within the same category. And for this, so the house, the religions. So the next one, then we have the Indian family, and then you can see that the televisions that was taken at 2015. 2005 during that period is so our Singapore the ex-prime minister or Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, yeah, passed away in the same year. And then during that period, you can see that most of the time the televisions have the documentary on him and different shows on him. We have Indian families. The next one. We have a piano teacher. You have a grand piano in the HDB living room. There's a lot of people say, why there's a grand piano in the house? Only the house is only this big, because he's a piano teacher. And then he conduct classes in the house, so that he have a grand piano. In fact, there's 2 or 3 pianos in the house. Yeah, the next one. Malay families, and then we all. I'm not sure how many of you been to a Malay family. Most of the time, the living room is very nice. You know, they can decorate it very nice. But if you look further, you can look at the kitchen. The kitchen, the lighting of the kitchen, and the furniture from the kitchen is actually totally different from the living room. See the next one. This is actually my wife's grandma. And some of the house at in Singapore, we have they hire the maid, the helpers to take care of the elderly. So like for this one is the grandma with the helper. The next one. One of the one-room flat or rented flat. You can see the house actually is quite. We only have a very simple setup. We have a fan and a bed. The next one. And when we did the exhibitions, actually I put these 2 photographs side by side. I mean, I hope that they are side by side, because you see that the color of the wall actually is quite same. So this one, and can we back to the previous photograph, the one-room flat, the rented flat with the single mom and 2 child. I can see that, and then no, just this one, and then this one compared to the next one, the toy collector. The color scheme of the house is the same, but you can see that, oh, this is the family is so full of interesting things on the wall. But there's a comparison. I mean, there's things that I think that there's no right or wrong. There's no like why someone can have a full of collection, but someone is the same level. There's no right or wrong, because I'm just a photographer to record down all the things. So next one. So you have the Mr. Lee Kuan Yew on the television again. This is Royston, one of the filmmakers in Singapore. The next one. Yeah. So basically, we can just go through the whole full photograph, then I can continue talking to Gwen. Yeah.
I
So
think it's
yeah,
very interesting, like at the point when you point out about the details within the house, right? And the fact that you had chosen 10 works that sort of signified the passing of someone,
yep.
or even in one case, a pet dog that passed away.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, can we pause here for a while? Yeah, yeah, a pet dog. Because to us, to some people who is not really a pet lover, they will think like, oh, what's so important about a pet pass away? But to the person who said that this when the pet will pass away, she was so sad. It's really one of the family's members. So when I go through the photograph, actually we have more than 10 people or 10 families that have someone that pass on. But when I say, hey, I need to include the photograph of the pet pass on, I think that's it. That's meaningful also. Yeah.
And I think that is also the passing of time is one element that is highlighted
Yep.
onto the exhibition, and also the fact that people recognize some certain specific event or popular culture,
Mm.
pick up from like the nature of the from different elements within the photograph. And I remember someone actually pointed out like some of the household which was so fanciful, including a kiddie ride.
Yeah,
In
yeah, yeah. Other one is yeah, Song Nian house.
it's like very unique, and people say, "Wow, this person actually had a kiddie ride." Right?
Yeah, yeah. Even for this photograph, actually, the wife is a artist, and then the husband, I mean, they both really love a lot of things. Because when I go to the house, it's like, oh, I love this house. There's so much details to see. No, this project is not just the person. It's not just the person, the people, or the living room, or the. It's not just a family portrait. There are so many things to see in all the photograph, why then there's so many questions, why there are so many cameras on the wall, near the top of the photograph at the right corner. There's actually, before the COVID, they actually have a shop selling cameras. So now they close out the cameras, the physical cameras, so they put the all the materials at home. So you can see, oh, so many things to see, so interesting. So the next time we can look at that next time.
And I remember this couple actually came by the fest to visit the exhibition, and they were
Oh,
like so happy with like the exhibition, and they brought along their parents
the
too.
parents, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so for this year, when we continue to do the shoot for SIPF, I try to complete more than, so that on hand I have about 50 plus, so I try to create another about 50, so to make it like 100. And same thing when I continue 5 years later, I'll say, hey, what's the things that I lack of, what's the things that I need to include more special needs community into the photograph. For this one, it's a adult with ASD, autism, and the daughter was in the middle. She's about 20 plus, 25, I can't remember, 25. And then you can see that the TV screen, you remember that when I said that the project is the TV, turn on the TV screen that most of the show that you watch. So they say, okay, then will be cartoons. And then if you look at the photograph, the three, if I never put any information here, that why is the three adults watching a baby shark on the television? That's very weird, right? So actually, because the child, the daughter is a special needs, and she loved cartoons. And why they say, why is this house have so many guitars? And look at the father's TV screens, it's actually the audio signal. Actually, from here, if I we're not going to put any information, but you can just think of it. Maybe he's a musician, and yes, he's a musician, and then you do the audio tuning, and then there's adult child that was watching the baby shark. So these are little things that in the photograph that
These
they
are
don't.
news, right?
Yeah, you don't need to put down the comments, but don't need to put down the information, but just leave it there. I think it's very fun and very interesting. Yeah, okay, look at the next photograph and just go through.
One of the things that I always enjoy when people visit your exhibition, I always ask them, Name three things, three similarities they can spot across all the family portraitures. And next, I ask them to list three distinct differences or uniqueness in from the photograph that they can remember. And I always very surprised by how the young people or teenager responds. And some of them will point out to me, oh, you know, there's in the living room, there's always this family portraits. Like some of them will have this family portraits and usually about graduation pictures or, you know, and some of them will point out, oh, you know, there will always be a sofa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nevertheless, that details like you have spoken are the times that people take, and I think this is also what became very remarkable is the fact that people slow down to literally take in all the details, because you know usually when we flipping through images on our Facebook or IG, we just go, you know, in a very fast way. But when in a physical exhibition, I noticed that how people really pick up all the details that you have captured within your photograph. So, and that's really slow down the process, and they spend quite some time within the room.
Yeah, even some of the families, they say that because like I mentioned, that the angles that I've taken will be like it's actually near the entrance, and then I put on my tripod and then find the angles that I think that is suitable. They're only a few steps away from the main entrance, and I take pictures and I ask them to stand there to take a family portrait. So there are a few families telling me that we never really look at our house from this angle. You know, most of the time we do the family portrait, we just everyone to go to the one corner, like always the same corner to take a photo, the family portrait, or New Year's or Christmas. We always go the same, but we never really have someone stand at the door and then look at the whole house. Then yeah, I think that's the interesting part. I was trying to tell them that no, that's the if a whole house is a cover, I mean a whole house is a book, then this is a cover page. No, someone go into the house, the first few steps, go open the door, we welcome someone come in. That's the first, that should be the first view that people will, this is your house. Oh, this is how it looks. Oh, you are, no, when you go, nowadays, every time we go to their house, or look at the details, like, okay, this family, someone loves music. Okay, someone is artist, someone actually graduate from some school. Then, there are so many details you can see. They're like, oh, okay, I know that, oh, this one must be, maybe it's a teacher. Maybe, there are so many information you can pick up, and then I can put it up like a puzzle. That's very interesting. Yeah, and one thing that about this year is because of COVID-19, I think that it's important to record it down. And so when I told the family, say I will do exhibitions on the family portrait, but all of you need to wear a mask. Then they was like, then people cannot see my face, and we want to be in the exhibition, but if you wear a mask, people cannot see anymore. But I told them it's important to wear the mask for me to record it down, because I'm sure, I mean, a lot of human are like that. It's very forgetful, right? Another 10 years or 20 years later, you won't really what 19, what COVID-19, COVID-20, COVID-31. No, it's the same as SARS, right? I mean, after many years, okay, yeah, I know it's SARS, but I can't really remember what is the detail of the SARS, you know. So I told them that, hey, I need to record it down using the photograph to record, so everyone must wear the mask. So many years later, when you look at the whole series, why are there some photographs that have masks, why some of them is with masks? Oh yeah, there's someone will tell you, because I'm sure that this was taken at year 2020. Yes, and it is. I think that's a fun part. Yeah.
And I think that is also become a very important in a way, a documentation, a reminder about our shared history in a way.
Yep.
And it's interesting. I mean, now that you mentioned 2020 as this very eventful year of pandemic and COVID-19, and I understand that this 2020 has also been a year whereby you have embarked on a new photo project, commission project. And would you like to share a bit more? What are like the projects that you have?
Sure.
You
Maybe
know,
we can close the memory block photos, and we can talk about more things, right? Okay, can, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Can, yeah. So 2020, yeah, 2020 I mean, like just now before we start the whole conversation, we were saying that actually we quite miss 2020. Okay. Not the bad, not like we love COVID-19. No. Okay, it's a lousy things. But I think that the 2020 first things, I mean, Singapore, we have this lockdown. I'm sure that other countries will have different lockdowns. And then suddenly you have the time that really with the families, the family bondings. You know. So, of course, the first few weeks is really enjoyable, but and another 1 month or 2 months, it's like, oh, every day seeing the same people, same son and same wife. No, just joking. The same person in the house. But of course, it's a year that actually make us sit down and slow down and think of what you need to do next. And
Wisdom in life, right?
yeah, correct. And it's quite considered a blessing at the year 2020 to the 2020. Yeah, because first because we were commissioned to do to record it to record the project, the COVID-19 commissioned by museum, right? So during the lockdown, actually I've been working throughout the whole period. And of course we go and apply the permit to work lah. The commission. It's not like anyhow go out and do the shoot. We didn't have a permit to do to record the COVID-19 and the circuit breaker, the lockdown. So throughout, actually it was quite busy throughout the year. And then fortunately we have another exhibitions coming up. It's February. I think end of February we have another exhibitions. It's about the circuit breaker, the record of the pandemic, and will be SBS Museum, right?
At the National Museum of Singapore.
Yeah, National Museum of Singapore. So I think yeah, that experience is really wonderful, you know, because when we talk about the ideas how to do what kind of projects or what kind of photography we want to record, actually there's a lot of freedom to give to the photographer, like just propose any ideas that you think that you want to do. And then of course I enjoy interact with people, humans. I feel humans and not just an empty street. Nothing wrong with empty street, just I love talking to people, so I'm taking the opportunity.
It's not your element to photograph.
Yeah, so when I talk to Gwen, say I want to shoot human. I want to interact with people. I want to take the opportunity to talk to people, not just shoot streets. And of course it's important to record it down. That one leave it to another photographer to do, and then that's not my forte to take a nice scenery, or no, that's not my. I need to interact with people. So we came out. I came out three topics. The first one is called Angel of Mercy. So I took a portrait of a day in the life of a two nurses actually. I follow them, and from house, how they take the bus and then go to the hospital. Yeah.
And situation for the nurses in the hospital.
Correct. And then in fact, we follow them into the isolation room. So in fact, I also wearing the whole PPE. So into the isolation room, how they work with the COVID patients, all these things. So I think that's a very good experience, you know, and that's one of the stories. And then the other two is one of them is called the essential worker. So I want to do a series of essential worker. And when I discuss with Gwen and say that I want to do essential worker, I want to make sure that the essential worker is someone that it's not easy to access. So that will be the challenge that I can go and I enjoy the shooting them. So we've been.
You named so many, and I think, gosh, Bob, you really had to coordinate yourself so much with different schedules of all the.
It's so fun.
And then you were saying, and I still remember you came back when it's so exhausting.
Yeah, because I think that all the paperwork is more exhausting than shooting. The shooting is always very simple, very straightforward. You know, go down and then find the best angle, then make sure that everything is clean. Done. It's done. Yeah, finished. It's but the fun part about doing, and the most enjoyable part about doing any project, even the memory blocks, the same things, right? It's not about the shooting, no. It's not about pressing the shutter. We go to the house, to arrange the shoot, and then cha-cha, it's just 1/60 seconds things, but the process of finding the right person to get the approval, and then to arrange, and then to coordinating the different timing, and then go to the house, ta-ta. Most of the time I get the same thing from all the families, or the even the COVID-19, the circuit breaker, the portrait. Finish, done, yeah, done. So I thought like you call us like 2 weeks ago to arrange all these things, and we get everything to approval, this and that, or even the memory blocks, getting everyone to get ready for a family portrait, and then only like that only, then finish. I said, no, yeah, it's the process. It's the process.
But the split of the seconds
Yeah.
captures a very important moment.
Yeah. And most of them say, like, hey, why there's no lighting? There's no like studio lights. Oh, I thought you will bring a lot of equipment. I know you will have an assistant with you, so I'll try to limit. It's just one tripod and one camera. Tuck, tuck. Yay! And so I say, hey, yeah, so simple to be a photographer.
I think that simplicity is really art of itself too, because the more complicated it is, the more challenging for the key message to be read from a photograph. When you trying to include so much in the photograph, the truth is like even though photograph can tell 1,000 words, it's never enough.
Yeah.
And the best and helps the focus of it is to have the key message, and keeping it simple. It's not doesn't mean it is easy.
Yeah. I mean, of course, is a picture tell 1,000 words. Sometimes we need a group of photographs to tell a story. not just one photograph. Yeah.
One, right?
Yeah. Depends on the genre of the group. Like the next project I'm going to do. Going to exhibit. After February there's an exhibition. April there's another exhibition. The April will be
year for you, Bob.
yeah. So the next one is the next one. The next one will be the a series of stories. 10, actually 10. Hopefully I can get 10. Okay, I already done 7. So 10 adult autism. Adult in autism. So because autism is a spectrum, so we're trying to capture different spectrum, and 5 of them have employment, 5 of them without employment. So when they are without employment, what will happen to the families? Because it's adult, like after 18, some will stay at home with the parents, and then some can go to the day activity center, and some of them stay in the adult homes, where the families, or the like some single parents, some is a very elder, very old parents, they can't really take care of the adult autism, so they send it to the home. So basically the whole project is to capture all different group of adult autism. Yeah. And this group of photos will be exhibited at Esplanade, the Esplanade tunnel, where and at the same time we'll produce 10 videos. And for each of the profile, we'll have a videos to share about more information, interview the parents, the caregivers, the employer. Yeah, it's a very tiring project, but I think it's important because I myself, I have a son with autism. He's 14 years old, and then to become an adult, there's only like, if you put it adult as 18 years old, and then because the school in Singapore, the government will take care of them until the 18, which is they can go to the school. After 18, there will be different arrangement that the parents need to think of. So I take it for this project as a preparation for myself and my wife to really, through these 10 families, what's the things that we need to prepare ourselves to in future. I think hopefully through the photograph, we can share the photograph to many parents who have special needs, young special needs, who haven't think of so far because it's so busy of daily life. At the same time, there are 2 target audience. One is the family with autism. The other another target audience will be public with neurotypical families, or someone who have no kids with autism. So hopefully through the photograph, you'll create more awareness for people to know about what's autism about. I think that's important for our community. Yeah, I've been busy.
Yeah. So I hearing that what I'm hearing so far is that you are a full-time uh, commercial photographer, and you're still working, and you're pursuing so many, pursuing your personal project concurrently,
Yeah.
and that you're working both at the same time. And perhaps to the photographer out who are listening, or perhaps to the public, what how important is personal project to you as a photographer? Because
Oh,
I know that there are also there are photographers I know that because the work is so heavy and so busy, and the personal project is always the last of their list.
mm.
But for you, I see that this has always been a constant about creating your own personal project throughout the years. Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe because I practice it in since many years. I mean, like I say, 2000 years when my second job. I was a graphic designer and I become a photojournalist. And when I started the photojournalist, and I feel that job and personal life should balance. And my personal life, I don't have other hobby other than photography. So so personal project become my hobby. So there's that. So
Personal love is cooking. No.
yeah, okay, of course, I need to eat. So I love, I mean, I cook. Yeah. So see, so beside the work, beside the I mean, I work for commercial shoot or for or commercial portrait to earn the money so that I can support my personal project. Yeah. So it part of life. Of course, sometimes even sometimes people, some friends will ask me, why you have time to do this after work? I say because I don't drink. I'm allergic to alcohol. I don't smoke, and I don't know about football. I don't know about soccer. I don't love car. I have a car, but that's a working car. So I don't really. I'm not a man. I'm not the like, hey, wow, this football, this soccer, this team. I don't know anything about all these things. So I've been spending all the time in photography or personal project. So yeah, and I don't fishing like John, cooking like Ox, right? So yeah, there's other photographer and other friends. So yeah, so my basically I just use my own time to do all the, and then I feel that it's important. It's important to have a personal project, and then it will keep you moving, and then you won't feel like photography become just a tools to earn money, a living. I mean, of course, we know that some photographer. I mean, there are photographer out there. Photography is just that one of the job. And then after the working hours, then they will continue. Nothing wrong. There's nothing right or wrong. Just that I have no other hobby. So yeah. So yeah, it's for as for myself. I hope that I can continue shooting and continue doing projects, and to make it last long, to sustainable. I think you need to continue doing these things and make it balance. Balance in the way that shooting money and then shooting personal things. Yep.
Yeah, I think at this point we are, wow, how times fly. We are actually coming to like an hour long in our this conversations and talk on your practices. And well, perhaps I will ask one last questions
Mhm.
while we wait. We will see if like our listener here have any questions for you today. Um, I realized that recently you started a YouTube channel. so so what so well, you can't blame people for asking, hey, how come not so much time? Because
The oldest YouTuber, 40 plus 45 already started YouTube.
not the oldest. So what's you know what get you started having.
Yeah. So okay, so the whole thing relate to autism again, because I mean, there are a lot of time, there are a lot of young parents who their kids just diagnosed with autism. So someone will introduce them, hey, talk to Bob. Bob will tell you, she'll share with you more things. So I will answer the call. I will talk, okay, these are new parents. I will tell them about these things, what you need to do, what you need to do. Don't worry, this is a long journey, blah, 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 blah. Then it's non-stop, for the past many years. And then even there's one time, there's one of the parents is calling me from US, no, US time at night after the son, after their kids go to school. Then she called me at about 1 a.m. Singapore time. So I need to talk to her. Don't worry, everything will be okay. Become like a counselor. So until talk about 1 hour, but until 2 a.m. you see. So my wife said you should start a YouTube channel to put on all the information on top. So when people call you and say, can I know more? What should I do for my kids? Please go to video number 3. So can you tell me, should I send my son to special needs school or normal mainstream school? Please go to video number 4. So that was the idea. Say, no, let's start the video, so we put up more information there, and then slowly that we can have more. So for parents who want to, especially the younger kids, so if they want to really know about what is autism, of course, what the information I can share about my personal life will be until 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, like for my because my son is 14 this year, I can share about my own personal experience. But of course, the last few months, we're saying that we should do more information. So I interview, we talk, have a chat with other parents with adult kids, so share about their experience, through their experience to share more things. So that's how it started, the whole YouTube channel. About Papa YouTube channel. But yeah, then we say that should we put photography inside? So that's why we have the first two videos about memory blocks. Then suddenly come to this autism. Someone say like, why your YouTube channel like so, photography suddenly got got autism. But it's about Papa. You see, I'm a Papa, right? So about Papa. So okay, right? It's on my life. So, yeah.
I think that's fine, because as an individual, you have different role in life. Besides being a photographer, you are also a husband, you're also a father, you are also a son to your own parents, right?
Yeah.
And we have multiple roles, and we are not just one layers.
Yeah.
We are actually multiple layers. And well, I think also coming to the end of the talk, and thank you, Bob, so much
Thank
for
you.
the sharing, and for pointing to us like the importance of having your personal work. And if people would like to find out more about your work, is there a website they should check out?
Yeah, my website is called www.thefatfarmer.com. So THEFAT MER. Fat, the Fat Farmer. Yeah, the Fat Farmer.
And how about your YouTube channel?
So my YouTube channel will be Abob AH and then BOB, then PAPA Abob Papa. Yeah, should be able to find it. Yeah.
Unmistaken face that you. Yes, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
For the listener and people who are tuning in to us right now. The exhibition Memory Blocks is ongoing now at 37 Emerald Hill Road, and the exhibition will end on the 30th of January. So do make your way down to visit the exhibition before it's gone. And thank you again to Bob for this lovely afternoon chat with you. I know it meant to be an artist talk, but I think the conversation is always the best way to unveil new things on practices. So thank you again, Bob.
Thank you. Bye.